maybe if you want to go down the line, introduce yourself and your role in the company.
Of course. My name is McKynleigh Abraham, and I play Janelle Woods in one of the shrills.
My name is Elise Patterson. I play Betty in the beginning. I'm in the ensemble, and I understudy Carole and Jeannie.
I'm Alison Whitehurst, and I play Cynthia Weil.
Hi, I'm James Lambert. I'm a swing. I cover 7 tracks in the show.
Did you play tonight?
What's that?
Were you in the cast tonight?
I was not. I was here, but I wasn't.
You had the night off.
I was in the show all weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's do a raise of hands, and I'll call on, and then we can ask our questions. Yes?
I want to know, because there's like always a piano on stage. Is the piano actually real? Like, are you guys playing that piano, or is the orchestra down there playing it?
It's a secret.
Can you repeat the question? Yes, absolutely. So she asked if, sorry, can you repeat it one more time? If the piano on stage is real, correct?
Yeah, if they're really playing the piano.
So she asked if they're really playing the piano on stage or if it's happening down here in the pit.
She's pressing down the keys, but the pianos are gutted, so no sound comes from the pianos. So you're hearing Sue, but you're watching her play the piano. Yeah.
Yes?
I'd like to know from each of you one track that was not included that you wish was.
What do you? Oh,
like a Carole King song.
So the question is, one Carole King song that is not included in the musical that they wish.
Well, I wish that the Gilmore Girls theme was sung, like because it's played, like where you lead, I will follow. It's like played, but it's not sung, and I wish that was in the show. I really like Gilmore Girls, so.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. In my head, I'm just like, all the Gilmore Girls. To be quite honest, that's a great question. But yeah, that's the only number that I remember. Yeah, I agree with Mickey.
I guess I'll be a little bit of a rebel here. But I guess Cynthia Wildberry Mann song that I wish was in the show is somewhere out there. Because it's beautiful. But I don't know how it would fit in the story. But it's a gorgeous song.
That was the one I was going to go with.
Stop it! There you go. That's cute. 2 and 2.
Yes, sir.
It's a two-part question. Were any of you in the production that was here a year ago?
I was.
What's different between this one and that one?
We had most of the cast, actually. and then what happens is the beats change a little bit, in terms of how people are saying the lines and the interpretation of things, so that changes a little bit. Also, what's changed is we had a 4-inch deck that is now split in half, and the piano now we're pushing instead of it was on this, it was called a turtle. And so this turtle would push around the piano, and it would do it automatically. So now we have a button and we push it. Other than that, just cast. And the other thing that would be different is timpani is no longer there. It's on keys 3. So that's one thing that's missing because we have condensed trucks. Sometimes over time, trucks condense. They figure out a better way to maneuver it, basically with keeping the same shot.
And the music's exactly the same?
Exactly the same.
Thank you.
Please repeat the questions.
Yes, okay, yes, I will do. Any other questions? Yes?
Somebody told me that Carole King actually interviews and auditions everybody who plays her on all the national shows and all the touring shows. Is that true?
Okay, so if you didn't hear, the question was, does Carole King audition everyone who plays her on the touring shows?
No.
She watches the videos.
Yeah.
And she has to say yes. All the leads that you see up there, Carole, Jerry, Carole approves Jerry as well, and Cynthia and Barry approve their parts as well.
I didn't know that. How fun.
Yeah. Carole saw your tape.
No, how crazy.
So it's never face-to-face, but they do see our videos.
Thank you for asking that.
Yes. How many touring companies are on the road now?
Yeah.
You have just this one?
Mm-hmm.
And in New York?
Yes.
Did you play just Japan Tape too?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We did.
Also, Australia, Japan, London, Then London had a touring cast as well. Australia toured all throughout Australia as well, but different casts, totally different casts.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Jerry Goff not approve this, but what has been his reaction to this?
Okay, so she asked, did Jerry Goff, what has his reaction been to the production?
I know he had a really big hand in like the making of this. Like obviously everybody gave the rights to their own story, but Carole wasn't really involved in the process, and it wasn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Jimmy would know, but it was Barry, Cynthia, and Jerry like really helped kind of fine tune and create the story. So I'm pretty sure he likes it.
I mean, he for sure came and he saw it and
Or like
seen it, so it's not like he was completely separate from the project, if that helps answer.
Yes.
How long have each of you been with the company?
So the question was, how long has each of them been with the company?
I have been with the company a little over a year. I joined in August of 2017.
Yes, this would be my 7th month since late February.
Oh, okay. 10 months. I can count to 10.
This is my 3rd year.
Jimmy wins.
Lots of gray hairs.
No. Yes, sir, in the back, yes.
Do most of you have New York experience?
The question was, do most of them have New York experience?
We're all based out of New York,
Are
so
you?
we live and work there and have done projects in New York as well. Yeah, so, but this is wonderful. This takes us away from New York for a while.
Yes.
So, are you saying that Carole King had nothing to do with this production? And if not, why is that?
So she asked, what I think your question is, what is Carole King's role in the production?
Yes.
What's her involvement? So what is Carole King's involvement?
You know, I can't speak for Carole herself, but what I can say is she allowed her daughter to oversee a lot of the process. And every single time that she comes and sees the show, which is not often, very rarely, she's seen it under 10 times, the entire production, and maybe twice in full, maybe twice. The first time she saw it when it was still being done in New York, she only saw Act 1 and goes, I know how this is going to end. I don't really need to see it. I give my blessing. And she left it to her daughter to say, if there's anything that you feel, is different, then go ahead and do that. But she really didn't want to be necessarily involved a lot in the process because she writes songs. She does what she does, and then she moves forward with her life. And I think that's what she's tried to do. And I think that she's definitely honored with what's happening and the stories being told, and hopefully it's bringing light. It has a lot to do with Jerry and her relationship with Jerry. It was really hard, specifically because he had mental illness as well, and so when she cared about him a lot. But there's stuff that's not even talked about in here, and you can obviously do research on it. But Jerry was very sick for a long period of time, and she actually was helping him. And it was basically in the beginning of stages of when mental health was being brought about. And that's, I think, a great reason why this story is also being told, but it's just still very hard for her.
Question is, how old is Carole King?
I think she's 76. Just celebrated her 76th.
Yeah, she's the same age as my dad. Yeah.
Yes, you still live in LA or?
No.
Idaho.
I think
Idaho.
she's, yeah.
Yeah, she's in Idaho.
Idaho on a ranch.
The question was, where does she live? So Idaho and a ranch. Yes, ma'am.
Where do you head next?
Minneapolis.
Well, first we have a layoff, so we get to go home for a week, which is really great. We're all very excited. And then we do Minneapolis for a week.
Maybe you can share a little bit about your just day-to-day life in a Broadway tour.
Yeah, I mean, so we have, whenever we have new people come in and join the tour, sometimes we'll have rehearsals that we'll have to put them in. So an average day with rehearsal would be just waking up and kind of working out and getting things flowing, and coming to the theater and doing like a put-in rehearsal. We might do like the locomotion for like 2 hours, which is great. Or, you know, we'll run the whole show, or just like the numbers that the new people are in, and then we'll have like a 2-hour break and then go to dinner, come back, do the show. But I mean, if we don't have any new people in, it's pretty cool because we can just wake up and have a full day in the city that we're in, and then show up to work at like 7 o'clock, which is really awesome. And we'll get to like explore the cities we're in, which is great.
Come back. Yes,
Okay.
in the back. Yes.
How familiar were you with the music before you got into the show?
The question is, how familiar were they with the music before they joined the show?
You know, I had heard some of Carole King's hits, like I Feel the Earth Move Under My Feet, Natural Woman, but I'm so happy that I have been introduced to more of her music, because I didn't grow up with a lot of Carole King in my home, and so I'm really thankful for that. So for me, this has been a great opportunity.
Yeah, I would say the exact same. And a lot of it, when I first heard it, it was like, oh, I know that song. I just didn't know it was Carole King.
Exactly.
So I feel like I was way more familiar than if you were to have been like, what do you know about a Carole King musical? I'd have been like, Gilmore Girls theme song, which I know makes people cringe. But yeah, I know so many of her songs. I wasn't able to put them to her. So yeah.
I actually, funny enough, I actually had a cassette tape with One Fine Day on it that I listened to when I was little, cleaning my room. And like, if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what it is. Like, it's so strange that I sing that 8 times a week, and I literally used to listen to it on a cassette tape. Yeah.
Did you have a question? Yes.
Yeah, the character Rick that was in the play, is that the same Rick that she married later?
No, it's Nick.
Oh, it's Nick.
He's a made-up character that I've been told kind of foreshadows James Taylor.
Yeah.
It's got it's a few of her lovers.
Yes.
Mixed into one.
Okay.
Did she marry James Taylor?
No.
No?
That was Carly Simon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's a cassette tape?
Good one.
Yes, ma'am, in the back. Yes, in the back, yes.
The question was, how's the audition process like?
Okay, I'll go. So in general, like living in New York, we have agents that will send us in for things based on our type and our vocal range and things like that. Or there are websites that we can look at that'll have a breakdown. My experience with auditioning for this show is I auditioned for this show 5 times over the course of 3 years before actually getting it. So, and it's like that with so many shows and so many people. There are so many people in the show that just like were almost there, and then like the casting just wasn't right, and then it eventually happened. So that just kind of goes in the fact that this business is so rough sometimes. but I mean, a lot of it is doing a lot of research on your own and looking at audition postings and having agents and managers that are there for you. It's kind of like a collaborative effort to get to here.
Unless I missed it, it would seem like it would be difficult to do this much of a story about Carole King without mentioning James Taylor.
The question was that he found it difficult, or it seems difficult that they would be able to tell her story without mentioning James Taylor.
I find that with a lot of these biopic musicals, they're about people that we love and are able to follow their journey and their work for so many years, and we only have 2 hours and 30 minutes to do it, and so it's so difficult, especially when new work is being written, to know what to keep and what to let go of. And so I'm sure that who knows, that may have been part of the original concept, or it may not have been, but yeah, I don't
He
know.
did not want to be involved in the project.
There you go.
He did not want to be involved in the project.
Pardon me?
He just didn't want his name attached to the project.
Okay.
And the reason is because he loves Carole and he doesn't want to shine any light that's not Carole. That's their friendship.
We have time for maybe two more. So maybe hands I haven't seen. Yes.
I had a question about, I saw it last year at this time. Is it the same actress? It looks like exactly the same actress who played Carole King. It's not, is it the same one?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, you saw it here last time?
Huh? Last year, or was it a year ago?
Sarah was here, and maybe Sarah was on. Because she was an understudy, and she played actually the
She was
track
me,
that Elise
and
played.
now she's Carole.
Yeah, now she's Carole.
Oh, okay, because I saw her last year. Pretty
That's so
positive.
sweet. Yeah, you totally could have.
Oh, but you said you all were saying that it was a different crew. So is that
Sarah,
true?
who's Carole, and then Neil Sedaka, they've been on it since, this is their 4th year. So they're the two that have now been on it, right? Am I missing anyone? Oh gosh, and Suzanne, who plays Jeannie.
Who plays the mom?
Yeah, so the 3 of them have been in it since the beginning. Since the beginning, sorry. And yeah, so yeah.
So I'm not making that up in my head.
No, not at all.
All right. One more. Yes, sir.
Okay, so here it's 5 or 10 years in the future, because I know this is going to go for a long time. This is you're finally not in this production again. What's the dream production that you guys want to be in?
It's a fun
Who
one.
knows
The question is, what is their dream production of the future? They could be in anything.
Well, I don't know, in the future, yeah, because in the future, I mean, I could tell you what my dream production is now, but dream production in the future, you know, if Prince of Egypt makes it on Broadway. Oh, or Hercules. Or Hercules.
Yeah, I'm like trying to like rack my brain, like, what's my favorite book that I'd want to like turn into a musical or blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, there have been rumors that The Devil Wears Prada is gonna be, which is like, #1, I would die. That would be the best. I don't care if I'm waving a tree in the back. Put me in, coach. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I feel like my answer is I love new things that are created that are just not based on anything, just a completely new thing. So I would love to be part of something new and originate something. But always Glinda and Wicked. I would love to.
Oh my gosh, you could do that. Let's make some calls.
I would do, Tootsie's coming to Broadway. I would love to do Tootsie. There's a show that I was working on for a while, and I don't know where it's at. It's called Basquiat. It's the story of the graffiti artist, painter, which I'd love to do. And then there's another one, but I can't think of it.
Dreams.
Dreams. If anyone can make those dreams a reality in this room,